Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to explore some of the outrageous and foolish things Meghan Markle has done that may have slipped under the radar. These are not the obvious things that you immediately think of when you hear Meghan and stupid in a sentence, but they certainly are embarrassing, and some are just downright shameful. Let's get to the crunch. Number 1 on this list is her inappropriate PR stunts. This time we're not actually referring to her stint in Africa when she had gone on a royal visit to help women in a community suffering disproportionately from DV. Meanwhile, stating to the world in TV interviews that she herself was not okay.
And especially as a woman, it's a lot. So thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay, since it's really been a struggle?
Yes.
This, my friend, is another dumb stunt that flew under the radar, partly because at this moment nobody knew the extent of her nasty side, and so everyone was remaining somewhat diplomatic on the subject of Meghan.
They were getting married and there was such goodwill and such happiness about it, which they seem to have impaired since their departure.
And partly because at the time Meghan was throwing out dumb moves faster than ceramic plates at a Greek wedding. We are referring to that time that Meghan used the Texas Uvalde tragedy as an opportunity to get some good press. Ultimately, people saw through her supposed act of compassion when they caught a glimpse of her entourage. That's right, Meghan was surrounded by photographers and bodyguards, all paid to follow her in the hopes of getting that perfect snap of her gracefully laying flowers on a grave, hoping to catapult her to Princess Diana status, is what she was hoping for. But no other celebrity did this. No one else saw the tragedy and immediately thought, what a perfect opportunity for a photo shoot. How she came to the conclusion that this would go down well is beyond me. Maybe she thought, well, I was part of the royal family for a hot minute, therefore I must have roughly the same status as the President of the United States. Therefore I shall do just what he does, but uninvited. People, of course, expect senior members of the government to visit these disaster sites with the purpose of hopefully bringing aid money and helping rebuild the communities that have been so deeply devastated. But what is Meghan Markle's purpose at this moment? How does her being there for a photo shoot help the communities and families? I imagine most of them really couldn't care if she's there. Needless to say, this PR stunt tanked and was faced with an apt amount of criticism given the circumstances. Then we have Meghan's book. I'm not talking about her upcoming memoir that will likely be hitting lists like this very soon. I'm talking about The Bench.
I'm Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and today I'm going to read to you my book called The Bench.
Meghan allegedly published the book with inclusivity in mind. She wanted to create a book that would make all children feel normal, no matter if they had homosexual parents, mixed-race parents, or even immigrant parents. All children could have something to relate to. That was the point, except it was later pointed out that she missed out one huge category. What about all the kids with only one parent or no parents? Potter fans will know that even J.K. Rowling represented this better than Markle's pitiful attempts, and that really wasn't even her goal with Harry Potter. To add extra salt to the wound, she promoted her book at a school in Harlem wearing an outfit that cost more money than the school's annual budget. One of my favorite things to do when Meghan steps out is look at her footwear. She gets footwear wrong far more than she gets it right. I'm guessing she was a big fan of clowns when she was younger, as she just loves wearing shoes that make her feet look like boats. Particularly with flats, she loves to work that elongated foot look. There are ways, of course, to make your feet look smaller, even cultures that strive through painful techniques to keep those feet looking dainty, but Markle doesn't play by the rules of the game. The bigger, the better for her, as fashion, in her own words, is art.
Just like with fashion, that fashion is not just clothes, it can be art.
And her feet do look like they just starred in an exhibition at the Tate Modern Museum. And that is another win for Stupidity, with Meghan's public image still looking pretty dreadful. Someone said, referring to her book The Bench, the title sounds like a punishment. It does very much sound like some sort of torture technique. And ironically, it is, if you read it to children. Someone else said, the irony is unbelievable. A person who doesn't speak to her father is writing a book about a bond between a child and a father and using the title Duchess. Who the hell printed this book? It's so very true, and again highlights the incredible hypocrisy that Meghan so effortlessly masters time and time again. She does not have any contact with her father, which is illustrated by the fact that when she was putting flowers down at Texas, her father was actually gravely ill, and she still made zero effort to go and see him. Her forcing herself into a tragedy shows how self-promotional she is. I wrote to Netflix about it, but feel they are in too deep. She actually tried to get the camera inside the school, which is ghastly. The crew moved mourners to get better shots. And that for me really is a step too far. She had, first of all, no business being there. And secondly, to move people out of the way is just so entitled. It's so entitled to move mourners, potentially the family members of the people that you are supposedly there to help. Just shove them out the way so you can get your images for Netflix or whatever. It is absolutely diabolical. Yes, there actually was another celebrity there, but it was someone from the town whose mother was a teacher in the town. And this was Meghan flying over in a private jet with her camera crew and bodyguards to get that perfect shot. It is very, very distasteful. Someone else said, sometimes celebrities donate large amounts of money without paparazzi. How many millions did she donate to the kids' families? She gave some of her blood, which of course is very limited, so that would have helped someone. Hats off to anyone who's ever given blood. I think it's one of the scariest things you could do, and obviously one of the most important. But then she had also been quoted saying that she was bringing supplies, and I think she handed out some sandwiches or something ridiculous like this, whereas she could have actually donated some money. That probably would have been more helpful. Sandwiches is not really what I think they were missing in Texas at that moment. Someone else said, referring to her footwear, she has to be the only person who can make a pair of Jimmy Choo stilettos look like something she bought on sale at Kohl's. And this is not a criticism of shoes on sale at Kohl's. Fabulous comment. Thanks for pointing out that you weren't actually criticizing the sale shoes at Kohl's, but rather how Meghan can make anything very expensive. In fact, the more expensive, the worse she seems to do with it. She just turns it into something that looks like you found in a back alley in a dumpster. How she does it every time, I don't know. It's quite a talent. Someone else said, in Britain, she wore dresses at least one size too small. And now here it says she wears shoes 2 sizes too big. A very odd woman. She's not quite hitting the nail on the head when it comes to sizes. This is her problem. Give this video a like if you too think these are not her finest moments, and subscribe to help the Crown family grow. See you down in the comments.